Hi, I'm Tom Lynch, and I'm getting ready to teach another of my online watercolor workshops. I'd love to tell you about them. Let me take a minute. There's two different types, and I think you'll be really interested because it can really help you a lot. First, let me touch on the online format. I think it's a great format because many reasons. You can watch a replay. During the live class, you can answer questions. I can see what you're working on. I can offer suggestions. But you can watch the replay where you can stop, pause, fast forward, screenshot. I can show you super close-ups. Let me give you a little idea. I have a camera overhead where I can zoom you in really close. This is closer than if you were sitting in the first row, sitting right next to me. So look at the size of that small brush right there in front. And so I can have that kind of detail for you to see and catch all the little nuances while I'm creating a painting. That's only one of the advantages. I have so many of my workshop lesson charts that I want to share with you during the class. There's 150 of these visuals. I've created these in my classes, and they're really helpful for all of the students. I'm talking about so many different things, whether it be the structure of a painting, how to paint the different parts for a Florida landscape, the design, the composition, using lights and darks. I could go on with all these different visuals that are really super helpful. So I bring them into play when I'm teaching both of those classes. One is the specialty techniques, and one is the two-part where you create a finished painting. Both of them, you'll see lots of visuals. You might have a question, and I can just grab so many more paintings now that you're in my studio and give you an example. We talked about, having a nice traditional look to a painting. I can show you that. I can show you close-ups, or I can show you where I've taken that exact same scene and done something much more dramatic. And you want to see the nuance of the color or the contrast over there in the background. Look at how I can hold that close, and you can see all the different little details. So there's really a good opportunity. I can share with you plein air paintings, on location, color studies. I have my studio full of visuals like that for you to enjoy. So it's all about giving you an extra help along the way, no matter which of the classes that you are taking. Let me share with you a little bit about the two different types. Okay, two different types. One of them is specialty techniques. Now, during that particular class, we have a particular title. Could be skies, clouds, and sunsets. Now, that's going to be just practicing all the different skies. Let me show you. I'll practice all the different skies and clouds and sunsets. They're loaded with information where I have written down exactly what to do. Here I might be focused and concentrating on all of the edges. So I'll zoom you in close. You can see the palette. I'll tell you the colors that I'm mixing and working with it along the way. I have lots of different visuals. Share with you the color for the darks inside a cloud. Share with you the importance of those edges. I'll show you how to do this rain technique coming out of a cloud. Or, watch this, I can show you how to change from that to a sunset look on the particular cloud. We'll touch on sunrise. We'll touch on the sunset, the last light of the day hitting the bottom of the clouds, and what colors to use, when and where, and how the techniques. So the idea is, look at all the different examples that you're going to see for me to share with you how to create. And of course, I'll touch on even doing a night scene or a twilight look to the sky. And I might even at the end share with you, oh, there's a way that you could just add a few finishing touches and make it into a little gem. So the specialty techniques is just about practice. And practice is what helps you build the confidence when you're going to create paintings. I'm not showing you one way to do the item. If it's trees, I'm going to show you several different ways of doing trees. If it's rocks, I'm going to show you 3 or 4 different ways to paint rocks. Like you've seen the skies and clouds, multiple ways to do with it. I'll show you how I, go on location and might even practice a little element in black and white. So look and see what the title is. It could be mountains, it could be rocks, could be waterfalls, could be sunlight, shadow patterns, some of the focal point. So it could be a really want to emphasize just a structure that's in a painting, but it's not about a finished painting. It's lots of practice so that you can have that confidence, that spontaneity when you're creating a finished painting. So look to see, again, they could be back-to-back 3 hours. So it's 6 hours of instruction. For example, 3 hours Saturday morning. I'll let you watch some slides during lunch for an hour. 3 hours on Saturday afternoon doing a different element. So we might do skies, clouds, and sunsets in the morning, rocks, rivers, and reflections in the afternoon. So look to see what the topic is. I'm also giving a little variety in case you can't make it for an all-day class. I'm doing back-to-back 3-hour classes. For example, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, from 5 to 8, we're going to practice just these little parts. And then the next day, Thursday, from 5 to 8, I have a different topic that will help you with your watercolor techniques. So that's something new I'm adding. It's really been popular and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Now there's another class, a different class, a 2-part, where we're involved in creating a finished painting. Just did one, so let me share with you something I've done. So what I do is I send to you a sample of what subject matter looks like that I'm going to paint. But I give you a couple of options. You can paint a different version. I send you a sketch to use. I also let you do your own composition. I did this one, in Florida recently, and so it's going to have an area where there's going to be some clouds. I'll talk about that, palm trees, the water, the island, and wet and dry sand, and so forth. And so that was the subject that I was working on. I gave the students, a different arrangement. I'll show you that in a minute. But let me share with you where the first part is about practicing these parts. And again, I'm giving you 2 different ways in which you can paint the water or the island, or the trees. So I'm going to give you lots of information about painting the ocean. Once again, I'm going to get in good and close so I can share with you and you can see all of those little nuances. Let's just add another rock in here where I have the top part is nice and dark, and then I take my finger for the bottom part and help it disappear into the wave that's crashing and so forth. So you get that close up. You're going to get all of this information along the way, talking about how to do the ocean. I'll tell you what colors to use, give you a way in which you can do the ocean or the island this way. Oh, but how about if you wanted it to have this particular softer look and the white caps painted slightly different instead of the pattern of action in the water, how to do even some of the reflections. So I'll even share with you, if you want to, we could finish it up. We could add a wave. What's the secret to do in the wave? I call it those action lines and the contrast, how to do the transition from wet to dry sand. And so you'll see lots of information. And this is a practice painting. Then in the afternoon, or part 2, we do a painting like this in stages. I like to paint the focal point first a lot of times, and so I talk about, let's just paint this particular area. Let's have there be some warm colors, some nice highlights, some good contrast, a suggestion. You can get as detailed as you want, or you can keep it nice and simple should you choose. And so we'll go step by step. I'll paint for a while. I stop, I pause. Anyone have any questions? What can I help you with? You want to see a different version? I'll pull another painting in for you to see. And then what I like to do as well, towards the end of the class, I like to show you something dramatic. So you could have your coastal scene look like this. It could have a little bit more drama with the sunset and the big dramatic tree, or you could have a soft touch, a light little color and value. You could have a nice little feeling of windy or active. And something that I enjoy every now and then, I'll share with you how to do something very dramatic with sunlight and shadow. So remember, there's a couple of things going on here. 2 parts, 6 hours of instruction, either just techniques on different items and lots of different ways to do them, or do you want to build a painting? But I help you build the confidence first. We practice the parts. Then we work step by step in building a finished painting. And you want to know what I think now is the best part? For both classes, both sessions, the techniques, and the finished painting, I offer you 3 weeks of contact when you can ask a question, you can send me a picture of what painting you're working on. So instead of having just the class be the only time you could get some help, 3 weeks after class, send me an email. I even give you my phone number if you want to, just take a photo with your cell phone and text me a question. I'll help you with whatever problems you're having. I'll let you know this is working. And sometimes I say, don't even change it now, but the next time, try to have a little more warm color at the horizon line, something like that. Or maybe there's a little more emphasis you could put to the focal point. So it's really all about helping you in 2 different ways, and then follow-up help after the class. So every month there'll be something different. So I'm either going to do techniques 1 month, a finished painting the next, might be in 2 parts, Wednesday and Thursday, late afternoon, or it might be all day Saturday. I hope you join me. If you like color, contrast, sunlight and shadow, and you want to learn something more than just one way to paint any way or any item, I'm the teacher for you. I have a lot of fun with this. As you can see, I've got a lot of energy in class. I really want to help you out, so join me, tomlynch.com, and if you have a question right now, you can email me your question related to those classes. I look forward to seeing you in class where we can have a lot of fun. I might challenge you a little bit to take a chance and do something dramatic, because I love it when someone says, wow, and that's what I'm going to teach you to have, is a wow in your painting. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in class soon. Bye for now.